my dearly beloved countrymen, and all those joining us from other nations. If you are from the diaspora, we're very grateful. We'll take a very brief moment to go through these statements. These are representatives from the group that is standing in the way of the BBI referendum train. A group by the name Kenyans for Economic Liberation. And today we state as follows. There are things that are urgent and important. There are things that are urgent but not important. There are things that are important but not urgent. And there are things that are not important and are not urgent. The most important role of government being the utilization of resources to the benefit of the people, it's instructive that a government prioritizes the urgent and important aspects that affect its people. The question we are asking today is the BBI constitutional amendment urgent and important to Kenyans? It's our humble but informed position that it is neither urgent to Kenyans nor is it important. Hence, our clarion call that the BBI referendum must wait. BBI referendum
must wait.
The main focus for our government should be securing the country from the ravages of COVID-19, ending corruption, and salvaging the failing economy. Kenya's biggest problem is not inadequate legislation. It's the following: lack of adherence to the rule of law and Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya, which richly addresses national values and principles of governance. The bastardization of powers given to the executive and usurping those of all other institutions, including the independent ones. Lackadaisical implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, whose Chapter 6 Parliament mutilated to accommodate selfish interests of the political elites. The growth in popularity of corruption because of the indifference exhibited by the relevant institutions tasked to fight it, and the trivialization of matters of great national interest, such as health, quality education, agriculture, technology, infrastructure, among other sectors that feed and impact on the wellness of Kenyans. The focus being on politics above all else, just for the sake of politics. It is obvious to all who have read and internalized the BBI bill that the matters that require a referendum are the politician-centered ones, while those that do not require a referendum are people-centered, which they should go ahead and implement without waiting. The proponents of the BBI constitutional amendments cleverly incorporated some non-referendum requiring clauses to veil their unpopular referendum requiring clauses. Kenya, we would like to state at this moment, is therefore facing a people versus political elite referendum moment and not a constitutional moment. What should Kenyans do? I guess that's what you're asking. Will we allow a politician-centered referendum to pass? Will we allow a debt burden that is already too weighty to keep increasing to sustain political largesse? Will we allow the mutilation and abuse against the laws of our lands be the order of the day? Will we sit and watch the ruling elites and politicians steal our future and that of our children. This is not what Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi or Field Marshal Muthoni Wakirima, Paul Gay, Fred Kubai, Ochieng Eneko, Kumbu Karumba, Bernard Kagia, among other freedom fighters who unselfishly gave their lives for Kenya would do. No matter how careless a man is, he will never sit on his balls. We dare replicate this wisdom in our time. No matter how Kenyans can choose to be careless, we must never again, and especially at this moment, allow the political elite to go on with their BBI referendum process. The task ahead may look too precipitous to surmount, but we shall go ahead having in mind the words of Henry Ford, that if you think you can or can't, you're always right. We shall be encouraged by the words of Martin Luther King Jr., that if we cannot fly, we shall run. If we cannot run, we shall walk. If we cannot walk, we shall crawl. But by all means, we shall never be silent as the will of the people is subverted for political gain of the few. On the most current matter that's affecting the economy of our people directly, that's the matter with regard to Somalia, we wish to state that the previous and the current diplomatic tiffs between our country, Kenya, and the neighboring Somalia is truly unfortunate, unnecessary, and avoidable, especially when it directly affects the livelihoods of our people who work and have economic ties with the Republic of Somalia, such as the local miraa farmers and our human resource exports to Somalia. It jeopardizes the stability and security of our long border with Somalia. It's very important that the leadership of this country acts more responsibly and weighs the opportunities our people are losing because of this diplomatic debacle and what the country stands to gain in return. Somalia desperately, and mark my words, desperately needs and requires skilled manpower for all its sectors, including health, education, infrastructure, technology, and our jobless graduates in their millions are a perfect fit for their needs if our diplomatic relations are restored and harnessed accordingly. We understand that the Kenyan government has a friend in Jubaland. I hear his name is Ahmed Madobe. Should have been a friend, not anymore, because he has lost both influence and control over a huge chunk of the Jubaland state since the deployment of the Somalia National Army in the Gedo region of Somalia. We therefore remind the top leadership of our country to stop taking the unnecessary risks it is taking to keep us sinking ship afloat and do the right thing for Kenya and this region as a whole. Thank you, and God bless you.